I'm Kelvin, and here's what's happening in aviation right now in clear, simple terms. Alaska Airlines just dropped a bombshell in the airline world with a massive aircraft order that is seriously historic for the company. They announced that they're buying more than 100 jets from Boeing, with a firm order for 105 Boeing 737-10 aircraft and 5 Boeing 787 Dreamliners. On top of that, Alaska has options to pick up another 35 of the 737-10s in the future, which could push the total even higher. This is the biggest aircraft order in the airline's history and a major moment for the Seattle based carrier as it tries to reshape its future and grow its business. The deal isn't just about snagging a bunch of planes for the sake of it, it's about building a new kind of airline that can serve both domestic passengers and international travelers more aggressively than ever before. The 737-10s are the newest and biggest version of Boeing's single-aisle jets, designed to carry more people on busy routes while being more fuel efficient than older models. Alaska already flies hundreds of 737s, but this order pushes its total order book with Boeing to well over 200 aircraft. Meanwhile, the five new 787 widebodies are especially notable because they are what Alaska wants to use for long-haul flights, stretching its network across oceans for the first time in a serious way, targeting routes to Europe and Asia from its Seattle hub and beyond. This shift from a primarily domestic airline to one that is pushing global services marks a huge strategic change, and one that people in the industry say could reshape Alaska's profile for the next decade or more. The reason this order matters so much is that Alaska is just slapping stickers on planes to fill seats. It's planning for long-term growth. The airline has set a goal to expand into at least a dozen long-haul international destinations by 2030, and these new Dreamliners are central to that plan. Those wide-body jets have the range and comfort needed on flights that can be 8, 9, 10 hours or more, which means Alaska is serious about competing with big global carriers on big routes. The order also comes as part of Alaska's broader Alaska Accelerate strategy, which focuses on modernizing its fleet, attracting more customers with newer and more efficient aircraft, and locking in delivery slots with Boeing through 2035. Extending delivery slots far into the future is a big deal in the airline world because production lines are booked up for years. By securing these planes now, Alaska is making sure it doesn't get stuck waiting while rival airlines grab up delivery space ahead of it. This comes after big changes at Alaska already, including its 2024 acquisition of Hawaiian Airlines. That deal brought Alaska into the wide-body aircraft game and gave it a starting point for international service. Now, with this Boeing order, Alaska is taking that first step from occasional international flights to a full-blown global network. A lot of this growth is built from Seattle, which has become Alaska's main hub and launch point for new flights. The airline has already announced nonstop flights from Seattle to Seoul, Tokyo, and several cities in Europe. The new airplanes will help make those kinds of routes more regular and more comfortable for passengers, because the 787 in particular is known for a more pleasant ride on long trips. Of course, this isn't just good news for Alaska. Boeing also benefits from this massive order. The 737 MAX and 787 families have had rough times in recent years with production delays and safety scrutiny. But this order signals confidence from a major U.S. carrier that Boeing's planes are worth investing in. Investors reacted positively, with Boeing's stock moving higher on news of the deal. That said, Boeing still has to tackle certification and production challenges that have dogged some of its newer models. Alaska's public backing helps Boeing's standing, but the company still needs to deliver on its promises to meet tight schedules and quality expectations going forward. For travelers and people paying attention to airline trends, this order also tells a bigger story about how carriers are positioning themselves in a changing market. With demand for international travel bouncing back and business and leisure flyers looking for more options, airlines that can offer both robust domestic networks and direct international flights hold a competitive edge. Alaska hasn't always been in that class, but with this move, it's throwing its hat into the ring. There's also an environmental angle, because newer aircraft like the 737-10 and 787 are designed to burn less fuel per seat and reduce emissions compared with older jets. In an industry under pressure to cut carbon footprints, investing in newer, more efficient planes is part of the broader push towards sustainability. Whether you love that or think it's just PR, it's shaping decisions at airlines around the world. On the ground, this is likely to mean more options for flyers who might not want to connect through traditional big hubs like Chicago or New York to get to Europe or Asia. Instead, you could see more departures from Seattle and other West Coast cities nonstop, which is a big shift from how Alaska operated for much of its existence. That's exciting for consumers who just want to get where they're going without layovers, and it sets up Alaska to challenge bigger, more established international players in certain markets. This isn't just a fleet order, it's a signal that Alaska Airlines wants to grow up and play with the big boys. They're positioning themselves not just as a regional or domestic US thinner airline, but as a global competitor. The risks are real. Big investments like this have to be justified by ticket sales and reliable operations, but the potential payoff is huge. You don't make an order like this if you're not confident in your strategy and your ability to execute it. The next few years will tell whether this gamble pays off, but right now the message is loud and clear. Alaska Airlines is gearing up for expansion on a scale it's never attempted before. If you want to stay on top of what this means for travelers, aviation markets, and how airlines are reshaping the way we fly around the world, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more deep coverage and updates. I'm Kelvin, and I'm the producer.